Got it.
What's up, y'all? I'm back. I have a special guest with me, VintageMook. He's a creative director of many things. He has a successful music career, industry background. He's a lifestyle curator. He's the owner of Vintage House Agency, and now he is a published author. What's up, Mook?
Peace, Queen. Peace, Queen. What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm good, man. This is cool sitting down, getting interviewed by friends. You
Yes.
really get to use that word a lot. So this is dope.
Yes, thank you for joining me. So one of the main reasons that I wanted to have you on because I do, I follow your page. I attend some of your events, and I think you're a real cool dude. Outside of all of that as well, but I just wanted to, and I try not to be selfish, so I wanted to share what I know with the world, because some people may not really know the in-depth parts that we're going to discuss today. And when I say in-depth, I don't mean like your personal business, but just they may know a little bit about what you do,
Yeah.
but I wanted you to be able to tell, specifically some of the things that you're involved in.
Oh man, I work hard to keep the mystique. Now you're trying to take it away from
I know what you're trying to do. I know,
me.
but
Like
yeah,
without getting bothered.
right. And so, the first thing that I wanted to discuss was, like in your intro, I told people that you're involved with, you have a successful music industry background, right?
Yes.
And so I wanted to discuss that. And I think I'm not really sure about Vintage House Agency. So is that like coincide with one another? Those the musical background Vintage House Agency.
Well, yes. Vintage House Agency is pretty much my baby. It's something that I have I guess trampoline jump from the major labels and the major industry to just creating my own. It's a consultant marketing company, development company, and it's pretty much everything that I've learned by dealing with the major labels. Um, kind of threw it all in a mix of a pot of gumbo and just kind of created my own thing. So now I can now as a company work with the agency instead of as an employee. I mean,
Okay.
instead of as an employee.
Okay. So it's
Yes.
not exactly what I was thinking, right?
And
Um,
what's that? It may be because I may explain it wrong. What were you thinking?
well, I was thinking, since you do have this musical industry background, I was thinking that you were just like, um, you became your own agent, talent agent, like musical artist, like you're their, I don't
Yes.
know, the
Yeah.
agent. Okay.
Yes. Yes. That's why I put the house at the end of vintage because it's a house. It's a house of different levels, different floors, different departments. We definitely specialize in working with artists. We have a management company that's inside of the agency. We have an artist development company that's inside of the agency. We have an artist branding company that's inside of the agency. So it's definitely music company.
Okay. Okay. And
Yes.
so, about how many artists does your company have? And is it all local or is it like national, international artists?
Well, actually, the two artists that we're working with heavily at the moment is, of course, Zeno Moonflower. He's a
One of my
Baltimore,
favorites.
yes, he's a Baltimore native actually. And we have him down in New Orleans under strict development, recording, branding, just putting together his whole.
I
Oh,
told you, it never fails. It never fails.
mine outside. But now we was able to put him for boot camp and the beta that we have. Um, and yeah, so Zeno is one, and we are recently working with a young lady by the name of Asa. Asa, I'm sorry, ISA. She's a 22-year-old college grad from Loyola, but she's she lives in New York. She's in New York right now as we speak. So right now we're doing a lot of back and forth to New York, New Orleans thing. We have her in the incubator, the boot camp, just trying to get everything together with her. And those are the two artists that we are day to day with. But we have a million and one affiliate artists that we work with. I don't manage them, but I throw a lot of gigs to a lot of artists way,
Okay.
festivals. I'm looking for artists, and yeah. In other words, I definitely keep other artists working that I think cool and deserve to work.
Now let me
That
ask you this: are they like the same type of artists? Like, do they the music is it similar, or is they two different types of music, or do you have any specific focus on your artists that you work with?
well, Zeno's. I mean, as you know, he's a special artist. No artist is like Zeno. He's a soulful guitarist, R&B singer, and yeah, you won't find nobody walking the earth that's gonna be
Right.
probably Issa is a very soulful R&B singer. He is very hippish slash popish. She kind of can hit every corner in the music, so she is kind of in a lane of her own. And I mean, to know me, I look for the specialness in artists. I mean, I know everybody can sing, everybody can rap. So for me to kind of sit down with you, you definitely have something that stands out compared to other artists.
Okay. Okay. And so, how long you been doing your own thing?
I've been doing my own thing probably since 2017, 18 the most. And my own thing mean I still, my partner's Raj Smooth. So before Vintage House was created, we created a We Major company that pretty much was consists of the whole crew, me, Raj, work with Courtney Horse, the Dizzies, Ron Diaz, so Wade. There's a lot of artists. I say 2017 is kind of about bump my head a lot on how to do anything. Now in 22, we figured it and
Hold on. I have to
got
pause this. Hold on. All right, we back.
back from the break. It was one of them ads, one of them fake phone ads. Just
Right. Exactly. That's
yeah,
exactly what it's gonna be.
yeah,
Okay, and so since 2017-ish,
yeah.
um so have you seen, and I don't think I sent you this question because I do like to prepare my guests, but have you seen like a big difference, or was it an easy transition going from, what you're used to, like with the big records versus doing it on your own? I mean, I know, of course, when you do things on your own, you have different challenges that you may not have seen when you're working with a large company. But other than challenges, is there a big difference that you've seen?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, everything changes. Of course, the money changes because you don't have $1 billion corporation behind you, so you gotta penny pinch every dime you got to get it popping. Of
Yeah.
course, for all my entrepreneurs out there. Notoriety changes. You're not the big cool kid in the city no more. That's bringing all the artists around and doing this and doing that. You kind of, one of the regulars for the most part, trying to figure it out. So it kind of humbles you in the worldly sense. And and I'll take that back. I think that's probably it because the music has always been the same, always been powerful, always been great compared to anything in the world. The visions and the creative director things that we do has always been top notch. So that never really changed. It actually helps out because I don't have a boss to tell me,
Right.
what's good. Not I kind of get to just throw it out to the world and see what hits. So mainly just the money and a notoriety of quote unquote important people probably the only thing that changed. But money is gonna always be here for us, and who cares about notoriety?
Right. And so, what would be your favorite part um, of doing the vintage house?
The favorite part of doing no rules, no rules, no rules, and just watching like my I mean it's the biggest cliche say in the world, but I love it the most, and that shit no Rome wasn't built overnight. So just watching. me sit down on my back porch and, during COVID and just try to figure out plans, figure out the name of the company, figure out the direction, figure out the different departments that I wanted to attack. And to fast forward, today is like, a beautiful thing. So yeah, just the challenging of getting here today from what I've seen 2 years ago.
And it shows growth, personal
Yes,
growth.
yes, exactly. And it's also been my own. I'm so glad you said it. It's also been my own therapy. Own,
Okay.
definitely. Yes,
Okay.
I supposed to be needing that therapy also.
Okay.
Yes.
And so that's your favorite, but what's your least favorite?
The least favorite is in a cocky statement. I guess just watching other people's maybe, you know, uh get the notoriety that you feel you deserve, or I mean that I don't, I don't mean the one in my city or the market. I'm, whenever I talk music, I always talk globally. So I mean, just seeing cats, that win Grammys or this and that, that, you have worked 10 times harder than, or this and that, and you feel like you or your team or your artist deserve that slot. That's probably the toughest part. But that's only tough for a couple seconds in the brain, because then you snap back and you tell yourself you're gonna get it anyway. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
I know what you mean.
yeah.
So I want to change the channel just a little bit. I
Mhm.
want to discuss, it's probably your baby.
Uh-oh.
Um not children baby, but I want to discuss the major laws.
Yes,
Um
here. Yes, the major laws.
yeah,
Definitely my
that's what I
baby.
meant by your baby.
Yes.
Um so I want to first I want to ask you this because you kind of threw me off when you said vintage Mook. But I remember I've been knowing
Yes.
you for a long time. I
Very.
remember the name Major for
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
So, is that like a nickname, a middle name?
Which part?
Where,
Major?
Major, yeah.
Well, Major actually came from one of my close friends. He's deceased now. My man, legendary Jay Smith. Cause I had the company We Major, which I created that during freaking Hurricane Katrina almost. I want to say when the
Okay.
album came out, the We Major song. I was like, that's gonna be the name of my, whatever. So I remember that for years, and my man Jay just kind of put the major to connect everything. So
Okay.
I paid attention to me throughout the years. I always put major in like everything I done, like Major Juice, Major Visions, the Major Conversation podcast, Major Mook. So it was kind of just, taking some off of the Puff Daddy brand, and how he's always branded everything the right way, in some kind of way. He puts his name in everything, Sean Johns and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where Major came from. Major Mook for a while, you know.
Okay. I always wondered about that. To be
Yeah.
honest, I thought that was your name.
Oh wow. No, it was just
when,
because
when I
we.
first met you a long time ago,
Yeah.
because that's all I knew was Major.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
That was serious.
but yeah, but I don't think I said it. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
is
Definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but cool.
really
Yeah, definitely.
okay.
Easily.
Well, I'll say this: it's a very good read.
Thank you.
I I've read it. I'm gonna say 3 times, but it might be four. Yeah,
Wow.
because like the points that I get in there, like I may not get it the first time I read it, and then the second time I read it, I'm like, oh snap! How did I miss this one?
Right.
So, it was a really, really, really good eye opener. And it really, if you sit down and read it, and this is just my suggestion. I don't know how you feel about this, but like I would suggest that you take maybe 4 or 5 principles each week and develop your skill sets or your personality on those 5 principles per week. And so I found with that, it has helped me become a better person. It helps me think about things differently. Um, but I'm a reader. I love to read. So
Ah,
That's
that's sick.
why yeah, that's why I've read it quite a few times. Um,
I'm gonna take those last 25 seconds you just said. I'm gonna try to chop that up when I see this interview, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the next book commercial.
okay. And so this last time, in preparation for this, the last time that I read, I said, well, let me just refresh my memory a little bit. That was the
Uh-huh.
fourth time. Okay, so I have read it four times. I said, let me
That's,
refresh my memory on some of these principles so we can discuss them. And my when I opened the book, I didn't open to page one. I just opened it,
yeah.
and the principle that I opened to was faith is mystery's best friend.
Yes.
And um, so this principle it came at the right time for me
Mm.
because um, let me see how can I put it because like I've been going through some different
Yeah.
obstacles in life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I had to be reminded that, don't worry about what's to come or what's going to happen. But when you stand true on having faith in God, excuse me, I get emotional. But when you stand true on having faith in God, like everything else doesn't matter.
Nah,
And
you're right.
so, yeah, and so that principle, like it came at the right time, at the right moment. And I asked you to do this because I like to have guests that people can learn about. But what I found with preparation for this is I learned so much about me just by reading this book
I,
for the fourth
I,
time.
sick. That's so sick. Nah, I appreciate that. Uh, what Jay-Z said, if he said in one of his albums, like, I'm good if just only one person feel me. So you just made that whole book worth everything I went through. If you was the only person ever in the world that liked it, I'm good.
Okay, and so let me ask you this: do you have any favorite principle in the book? I mean, I'm sure they're all favorites and they all have a special place in your heart. That's why
Yeah.
you put them
Yeah.
into book form. But is there any specific one, any particular one that kind of
Um,
overrides all the others?
well, I guess the way I structured them for a certain way. Like I try to make the book like a journey of like a car ride type thing. So
Mm-hmm.
onto the ride, you get certain aspects of the book and certain things. So I say that to say, I think the very first chapter, just no one forces you to stay in a casino. That's like the most gut punching one. So I put that in the beginning, kind of, like someone reads that like, whoa, what is this?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna always, I guess, just say that's my favorite, just because that's the most, and everything in every principle that I put down, it's not a point and finger thing, because it's pretty much was talking to myself, and I was just hoping someone can relate to it. So when I say that, I was, that's like the realest thing that I ever try to tell myself when those, I guess, challenging times come in life. Like, yo, my brother, you in this position because you put yourself in this position. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you can be mad, but you can't be mad at anyone. You can't be mad for too long, because if you put yourself in these situations, you got to figure out how to get yourself out of these type of situations.
Yeah.
And like I said, no one forces you to stay in those, a bad relationship. No one forces you to, sign a bad contract. No one forces you to, just not take care of yourself or anything. So when that day come when you're challenged with all these things that you pretty much, set up for yourself to fail. No one forces you to do any of those things. So, that was like a real big gut punching, challenge for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you said previously that this was probably the hardest things that you've done
Yes.
throughout your.
Yes.
Wait, say it again.
I say yes, because transparency was everything during that time. Yes. Being that vulnerable. Like I say, the mystique I keep, people thinking, I got it all figured out. They have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is very, very challenging. you know.
But do you have any plans on any other books, maybe?
I'm mentally working on it. You got to thank COVID for getting this book. You know, sitting my ass down or sitting my butt down. Kind of made me, just mentally review, um, my past. Uh, it's just duties on earth, on things I've done, things I want to do. And at that moment, and this one time we couldn't even go outside, outside
Right.
of the store. It was like, so no music, no this, no that. It's like, yo, I had to shut the studio down. And I was like, man, I always did want to write that book. And I kept putting it back, but it was the music books. And I was like, I kept putting it. It's the perfect time to write that music book. So when I sat down to get everything out, started calling people, old record label friends, old artists, things like that to get it together, I was like, let's not do this. Like, let's tap in a little deep, like let's not do a memoir or anything, but let's and I was definitely going through a lot during that time, suffering from a lot of depression and things like that. Uh, but understanding it, being able to spot it and being able to treat it, that helped me. And I was like, there might be some people that's really going through it like me right now. So let's do this. So sitting down and getting all of those dark things out inside of me out and putting on the paper was definitely the hardest thing ever. So I say it to say, I don't know if a part two will come. This is like my Lauryn Hill. This is like my baby, my first, my every, But the next book will definitely be a celebration book. It'll be
Okay.
a, it'll definitely be a highlight book.
I'm here for it. I'm
Yes.
ready.